Hey, how's everybody doing today? It's good to see y'all again. I sure did miss y'all. It's been a while since I shot some videos. It's been cold outside. Man, I tell you, Texas weather's crazy, man. It's fixing to get a little warm the next couple of days, and then it's going to get it's going to stay around the same temperature. It's going to drop into the 60s, and then it's going to start raining, and you know, April showers. You know, that's the way it is around here. God bless those that have to live up north. I can only imagine how it feels to, well, I've actually lived in Wyoming where it stays really cold during the winter time, and it's a different kind of cold. It's like a calm, still cold. It's not really a lot of wind blowing from my experience of living up there. I made the mistake about saying something to somebody. It snows all year round up there. It doesn't snow all year round up in Wyoming. It's just you can see snow in the mountains not too far, you know, from where I lived. You know, you could travel up into the mountains a little ways, and there would be snow on the mountaintops and stuff around there. Just seems like it stayed cold most of the time. But anyway, today is the day that I put the dryer in here, and I installed a waterproof plug on my breaker box is on the outside of the house. So I installed a 220 dryer plug on the outside of the house, waterproof, and got the dryer inside here. I got it in here, and I'm fixing to. It doesn't want to work. I got this dryer on the side of the road. It's nothing special. It looks like a newer one from most of the ones. I've always picked up dryers off the side of the road. I've never paid for a dryer. I've never paid for a washing machine. I've always just self-taught, you know. A lot of the times you can pull the schematics out where the controls are. You can take the little access panel off the back of the dryer. This dryer in particular, it doesn't have a back panel, the large back panel that you take off of the dryer. I believe it's going to be a front access. Some dryers you have to take out the drum, which I don't like those, and the coils are actually right behind the drum of the dryer. This one, I'm hoping I don't have to do that, because it is a front access, and it's a lot of work having to take the drum out, because you got to disconnect the belt, and then you got to unlatch it, and then you got to pull the drum out and set it aside, and then you got to find the heat strips. Most of the time when somebody throws something away on these dryers, man, it's something simple. It ain't nothing big, but because of the parts can be very costly, they'll just go to a used appliance place and purchase another dryer. They don't want to have to pay the technician to come out and pay for the $100 for the part, you know, around, I'm saying $50 to $100. The coils can be expensive, you know, and then having to pay somebody else to come in there. It's much easier for a lot of people to just go buy another used dryer. But so I've always just self-taught myself. I've always, you know, you can read these schematics. I might. Right now I'm in front view of my camera, so I can see the screen. If I turn it over, I can't see the screen, and it's very hard to. It's very hard to read because my camera won't focus in on it. And I was going to kind of like give a little tutor of the wire electrical schematic and electrical diagram sheet, but I can't get the camera to focus. So I'm going to just do the best I can to try to help everybody out if they got a dryer that's broke down. Some of the simplest things can be wrong with them, and sometimes you can bypass sometimes you can bypass a start switch, which is just, all it is just connecting two wires, a circuit. The door switch is just connecting two wires, which is a circuit. The heat strips, we'll just get on to that here in a second. But for now, let's get the lid busted open on this thing and see what we got. Let me put y'all down right there. Most of the time, yeah, it's a clip-on. Most of the time when you take the screws out, there's little clips on the inside of this thing where they just pull out. Most of the time it's pretty easy to get off. Okie dokie. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell y'all, we turned the breaker off. I already turned the breaker off, made sure it don't got no power already. Okay, let's flip the camera view and see what's going on inside there. Okay. See if I can get in here. Okay, you see this purple wire here? Let's see if I can get over there. You see that? That's a limit switch. And you can check those with a continuity tester. A continuity tester just checks to see if there's a circuit between that. You know, you can pull these heat strips out and inspect the heat strips. It looks like there's a screw back there that you take out and a screw down here that you take out on this one. I believe this is a limit switch, and this is a thermal overload switch over here. And sometimes those go bad and they won't let the heat strips come on, so you can jump that out. I recommend if you jump it out, you know, connect those two together with some temporary tape. I said temporary tape. Or you can take those wires off and you can check those two terminals with a continuity tester. And all the continuity tester does is it beeps when it detects continuity, which is, it tells you if that switch is bad or not. If it beeps, that means you know that it's good. And this is before this is when everything is off. But right now we're trying to figure out why it won't come on. You got, see those two, this is the door switch. See the switch out here? This is the door switch, and you can take a jumper wire and connect these two circuits together, and that bypasses the door switch. If you don't have a continuity tester, you can turn the power off and connect those two wires and bypass that. But it's much better, so you ain't doing a bunch of trial and error stuff, is to get a continuity tester. Or if you got a tester that connects voltage, you can turn the voltage on and see it, flip the breaker on and test the circuit and see if it at least gets power to that switch, power to that, power to that thermal overload, or power to the limit switch. This limit switch, what it does is it senses heat, and it regulates the heat to where these coils do not get so hot that they burn up. I will tell y'all this. One time I jumped out the limit switch on my dryer, and you don't want to, it's okay to jump it out to see if that's the problem, and if the heat strips come on after you jump those two wires out back down there. There's one down low, which is a gray wire, and then the purple one. You can jump that limit switch out, but I recommend that you do not leave it unfixed. You need to take that limit switch down to your local hardware place that sells parts. This is a Maytag, I think. I'm pretty positive. And you can go down to your hardware places that sell parts for washers and dryers, and you can buy you another limit switch, and those don't cost much. The heat strips, I'm not going to pull them out right now, but you can pull that whole cannon out right there. Different dryers have different designs and applications of where they put the heat strips. Some of them you can access from the back of the dryer, some of them you can access from the front of the dryer, but basically it does have a lot of limit switches on it and a lot of safety, items on it. One time I jumped out the limit switch on my dryer, and I said, oh, we'll just leave it like that. I don't need a limit switch. And it melted my wife's panties and bras together. And it dried really well, but it got too hot and melted the clothes together. So that limit switch is important. You can jump them out temporarily just to check and see if that part is bad, but don't leave it like that. You're just trying to, that's just from my personal experience. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to come over here and take a jumper wire and we're going to bypass the door switch. And then we'll turn a breaker on and see if that's the problem. Let me put you back on the stand. I got two wires here, and those are prongs that you plug in on that switch. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to shove these wires I could have a little smaller one, but I don't want to cut my wire up. I like to save the length of my wire. I guess it wouldn't hurt, but I'm only using this for like a jumper wire. You could use a paper clip. I've used paper clips. Okay. Man, I hate it when this happens. Man, the battery's getting low on my camera. I gotta hurry this up. And there it was. It was the door switch that was bad on this one. Now let's see if the heat strips are working. Okay, I put the door on temporarily so we can check and see if them heat strips are coming on. And they're working. They're working, thank God. I don't have to buy no heat strips. If the heat strips won't come on, like I said, you got to pull them heat strips out, and I don't want to take the time to take those out because it's a really big pain in the butt, but I'm just trying to help everybody out that, you know, might have some simple problems. This one just turned out to be a door switch. Sometimes it's the start button, and all that is it's connected two circuits. On the start button, if you'll take the panel off and look behind the start button, there's two wires that it's making a contact, and that's what starts the system up. Sometimes that's bad. Sometimes the door switch is bad. Like I said, sometimes it's these terminals back here. You know, you can bypass that limit switch and take this purple wire and put it down there where that brown wire is. You see, you can take that purple one and you can put it down there to that one and bypass that limit switch. Turns on and off the heat strips as it gets a certain temperature. But as you can see, it works. That's a thermal overload switch, I believe. That way, if it gets too hot and that limit switch hangs up and stays on, that's the thermal overload switch. But anyway, I'll get off here and do some laundry, and till next time, Limpster out.